It is hot. It seems like it's getting hotter every summer. We're all sweating, losing any modicum of cool. We stink, makeup is running, we're irritable. But have you ever stopped to think why we sweat? How it actually occurs, where it begins, why it smells different depending on different situation? Sweating might be annoying, but it's actually super important for keeping us cool. In this episode, we're diving into all things sweat, why it happens, what it means for your health, and why some people sweat more than others. We'll bust some myths and uncover some surprising facts about this everyday body function. So stick around because you're about to learn some really cool stuff about why your body sweats. Welcome to Brynn's Glow Guide, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of health, wellness, beauty, and achieving that wonderful glow from the inside out. I'm your host, Brynn, your skincare consultant extraordinaire, and today we're going to sweat the details on a topic that affects us all, sweating. Why do we sweat? What conditions affect sweating, and what are the implications for our health? Let's discuss the structure of the skin where sweat comes from. The dermis is the thick layer of skin beneath the epidermis. It contains connective tissues, hair follicles, and sweat glands. The epidermis is the outermost layer of the skin that we can see and touch. It acts as a protective barrier against the environment. The sweat gland in the dermis plays a crucial role in sweating. Now, sweat is mostly comprised of water, but it also contains essential minerals like sodium, chlorine, potassium, and magnesium. Interestingly, someone who isn't very fit tends to lose more sodium in their sweat than a person who is fit. If your sweat is salty, meaning it stings your eyes, leaves a gritty feeling on your skin, or produces a sting on an open wound, you're losing sodium. A temporary solution is ingesting electrolytes. Sports drinks are full of sugar. I do not recommend sports drinks unless that is the only thing you have on hand. Try adding electrolyte tabs to water, copper, or Celtic sea salt. Celtic sea salt is what I do. So why do some people sweat more than others? How much sweat you produce depends on a variety of factors. So let's break some down. Body size, age, muscle mass, and health status are the big ones. So body size. Bigger people generate more heat because they have more to move around, which means more heat generated and hence more sweat. The greater surface area that comes with a large body also plays a role. Age. As you age, your body becomes less tolerant to heat. Sweat glands change with age, reducing the body's ability to cool itself effectively. I don't know if it's age or you start to question more things like, why am I outside when I could be in the AC? Muscle mass produces more heat than fat. So even if two people have the same body weight, their sweat rate will differ based on the percentage of muscle mass. Now, health. Various health conditions in life stages can impact how much you sweat. Colds, flus, and even mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression can affect your sweating. Hormone fluctuations in particular are often linked with an increase in internal body temperature, just as someone going through perimenopause or a pregnant woman. Another factor is fitness. So people who are very fit sweat more than their less fit counterparts. But if fit people and less fit people are performing the same task, the less fit person will sweat more because they have to expend more energy to perform the same task. Now, this is general information. It may not apply to you if you have other health issues. We're all snowflakes, so these are just guidelines. Now, some external factors also play a role in how much you sweat. We all know heat is not the same. I live in Florida. This humidity is not for the weak. I was just in California, which is a drier heat, and I felt just as lethargic and irritable. Hot is hot. It's how you have acclimated to the heat. So if you're running outside in 95-degree heat, 70% humidity, or doing a hot yoga class, your body will sweat to keep your internal temperature down. If you're eating spicy food or drinking caffeinated beverages, this can also increase your body temperature, causing you to sweat out the excess. Something I find interesting is why your sweat smells different when you are working out versus when you're scared or you're running for something or even at rest. To answer this question, we need to discuss the types of sweat glands. Now, there are two types of sweat glands, eccrine and apocrine. Eccrine glands are found all over the body and are responsible for regulating body temperature through sweat. Apocrine glands, on the other hand, are found in areas like the armpits and the groin and are activated by stress and hormonal changes. The sweat from eccrine glands is mostly water and salt, which generally doesn't have a strong odor. However, when you are scared or stressed, your apocrine glands kick into action. These glands secrete a thicker, milky fluid that contains proteins and lipids. When this fluid comes into contact with bacteria on the skin's surface, it is broken down and produces body odor. This is why stress sweat smells stronger and unpleasant compared to, just regular physical activity. So what about if you smell an ammonia smell after you're working out? Now, this can be a sign of protein breakdown. In some cases, it might indicate a liver or a kidney disorder. If you notice the smell and it's accompanied by fatigue, it's a good idea to see your doctor. I've had this happen to me after very quick workouts. It was definitely an issue with the way my body was breaking down protein. It also can be an indication of, you guessed it, hydration. Hydration plays a crucial role in the body's ability to regulate temperature through sweating. When you're properly hydrated, your body can efficiently produce sweat to cool it down. Signs of proper hydration include clear urine and regular urination. On the other hand, dehydration can reduce the body's ability to sweat, leading to overheating and potential heat-related illnesses. A good rule of thumb is to drink half your body weight in ounces. So if you're, let's say, 185 pounds, you should drink 92.5 ounces. But what if you hydrate and your body can't regulate its temperature by perspiration? Well, this is called anhydrosis. Anhydrosis can be dangerous because it prevents the body from cooling itself, leading to overheating and potential heat stroke. This is something that I thought I had because I don't sweat easily, or sometimes really not at all. In fact, when I was younger and exposed to heat consistently, I would just pass out. Even as a teenager running cross country, and I mean like 11, 12 miles, it would take a long time for my body to actually expel some sweat. At this point in my life, I stick my hand out the window and deem it too hot to participate in reindeer games that take place outside. I do love the outdoors, but in those summer months, I know I am not built for those streets. The other side of not sweating is excessive sweating. This is known as hyperhidrosis. This condition can cause significant discomfort and embarrassment, and it may also lead to dehydration and skin infections. If you suffer from either of these extremes, what are your treatment options? Now, for anhydrosis, treatment focuses on addressing the underlying cause. This could involve managing medical conditions like diabetes or using medications that improve sweat glands. Staying hydrated, avoiding extreme heat, and wearing lightweight clothing can help manage some of these symptoms. For hyperhidrosis, there are several treatment options available. Now, medically, antiperspirants and aluminum chloride are often recommended. In more severe cases, doctors may suggest oral medications, Botox injections, or even surgical procedures to reduce sweating. Some things that may help are lifestyle changes, wearing breathable clothing, practicing stress management techniques, and maintaining a healthy diet can also make a significant difference. Try these first to see if they alleviate some of your discomfort. So now that you know why we sweat and how we sweat, is there anything good about sweat? Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention pheromones. Pheromones are chemicals produced by the body that can affect the behavior of others, particularly in the context of attraction. They are often released through sweat. The apocrine glands, which are found in areas like the armpits and groin, are especially involved in the production of pheromones. These glands become active during puberty and are stimulated by stress, excitement, or hormonal changes. Pheromones play a role in communication between individuals and can influence social and reproductive behaviors. Has there been a time when you smelled someone when they're sweaty and things started flowing? I love my sense of smell, and I easily fall in lust, love, or ick all of the time, romantically and platonically. If you think about it, when you begin to fall out of love with someone, they start to smell. If you want to mask those pheromones, you may be asking, how and should I? Now that you're aware of what the masking actually masks. So most commonly, we use deodorants and antiperspirants. This isn't the dark ages, people. We're not walking around with pockets full of posies and hoping we don't catch a wind gust. So be cognizant, if you smell, other people can smell you. Now, if you're suffering from an extreme condition like the ones that I've mentioned above, then over-the-counter products probably won't work for you. If you don't sweat, put the extra deodorant money in a coffee pot and start saving to see a doctor. So what's the difference between deodorants and antiperspirants, or a hybrid formula? Antiperspirants contain aluminum-based compounds that reduce sweating by blocking sweat ducts. Deodorants, on the other hand, don't prevent sweating. Instead, they neutralize the odor caused by bacterial breakdowns of sweat. Deodorants typically contain antibacterial agents and fragrances to mask the smell of sweat. Deodorants will allow the sweat droplets while antiperspirants sop it up. So they're usually sold in some combo form, being labeled as antiperspirant deodorant. Understanding the difference between these two products is crucial for making informed choices about your personal care routines. What is the common ingredient in many deodorant antiperspirant combos? It's aluminum. Aluminum compounds and antiperspirants work by temporarily plugging the sweat ducts, which reduces the amount of sweat that reaches the skin surface. This helps to control body odor and keep the underarm area dry. However, there are potential risks associated with being aluminum-based deodorants. Some studies suggest that aluminum compounds can be absorbed by the skin and may have estrogen-like effects, which could potentially cause the risk of breast cancer. Although the evidence is not conclusive, it's something to be aware of. Additionally, blocking sweat glands with aluminum can lead to toxin buildup in the body. Through this theory is still under debate. This theory is still under debate. Some of you listeners may be aware that I'm a licensed radiation therapist, and anything cancer-causing always perks my ears. We have always been advised that patients cannot wear antiperspirant during radiation treatment because the aluminum reacts with the radiation. In fact, most therapists that I know don't wear antiperspirants because of this. And because we are around the radiation, not that radiation is affecting the healthcare workers like a magnet, but more impressive data shows up every day to contradict what we think we knew today or yesterday. Which leads me to talk about the body's detox system and delve into the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a network of tissues and organs that help rid the body of toxins, waste, and unwanted materials. It includes the lymph nodes, spleen, and thymus. The lymphatic system interacts with sweat glands, particularly in the axillary or underarm area, to help eliminate waste from the body. Some believe that aluminum compounds and antiperspirants can block the lymph nodes and impede their ability to filter toxins, leading to potential health risks. This blockage could theoretically lead to a buildup of toxins and increase the risk of conditions like breast cancer. Men can get breast cancer too. Studies are showing that there is an estrogen response to antiperspirants. Do your research before you just buy something based on the smell and the commercial. When I was wearing antiperspirants, it would always clog my armpit ducts, leaving me with painful bumps under my arms. It was definitely a cancer scare for me. For those hypochondriacs out there, worst case scenario is always available to obsess over. When I do feel like I am going to be in a situation where I need to wear deodorant from the store that I didn't make, something like high stress, I realize that deodorant does not come off in any, let me see that again. When I do feel like I'm going to be in a situation where I need to wear deodorant that I didn't actually make myself, I realize that deodorant doesn't come off with any amount of soap and water. Yet it actually says that it lasts 24 to 48 hours. Or does it? Ask yourself that question. Where is that deodorant going? There's current and readily available research on the connection between antiperspirants and increased cancer risk, particularly breast cancer. Some studies have found a potential link between antiperspirant use and an increased risk of breast cancer, while others have found no significant connection. The American Cancer Society states that there is no clear evidence that the use of antiperspirants increase cancer risk, but ongoing research is necessary. It's also necessary to ask who is doing their research. So, what are the key takeaways about the relationship between the dermis, hydration, and aluminum deodorants and lymphatic health? Maintaining proper hydration is essential for optimal sweating and temperature regulation. Be mindful of the ingredients in your personal care products. While there are concerns about aluminum deodorants, it's important to stay informed and make choices based on the best available evidence or how it affects your body. And lastly, understanding the importance of the lymphatic system in overall health is crucial. If you can afford to see a lymphatic specialist, I encourage you to do this. Think of your lymph as your garbage collector. It collects the garbage in your body and tries to keep it away from all your working parts. But the garbage gets backed up sometimes and needs a place to go. So remember that. A lymphatic drainage massage helps keep the garbage moving around so your body can expel those trapped toxins. After listening to all of this, you may be saying, it seems like everything is bad for you and all natural deodorant seems to fail. I get it. I make my own deodorant. It works, but I don't think you can ever get used to the way sweat trickles down when you're nervous. I have, but it's always a little abrupt, like, oh, hello, when it happens. I never thought I'd be a person that made my own deodorant, but through my health journey, the more research I do on health topics and genuinely caring about what ails me, it leads me to that I can't unknow things and and just choose to ignore my body. This wouldn't be a health podcast if I didn't mention a natural approach to combat stinkies. You can use baking soda or apple cider vinegar or lemon and baking soda. I've heard of people using isopropyl alcohol, and I think that works actually pretty good. All of these remedies contain properties which can actually help absorb sweat and reduce odor. Try them when you are home and see how these work for you. Pinterest has a million recipes. Next to my mother, one of my favorite resources. I'm still trying to figure out why I don't perspire or glisten like my counterparts. Why sometimes I smell and other times I can't stop smelling myself. Remember, taking care of your health is a holistic process that involves making informed decisions about what you put on and in your body. In future episodes, we'll be bringing in experts like dermatologists and nutritionists to provide more insight into these topics. I want to point out that you can be an expert of your own body. Stop, be attuned, and connect the dots. Always be your own healthcare advocate. Thank you for joining me today on Brynn's Glow Guide. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to cover, feel free to reach out on our social media channels. Until next time, stay hydrated, stay informed, and take care of your skin. This episode was sponsored by Brynn Skincare Essentials, Herbal Wisdom, Modern Science, Natural Skincare backed by science.